Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about DNS. So DNS is a term used on the internet for the way data is routed. So let's say, for example, you want to travel from your home into a city to a specific building. You would then use your Google Maps. You would put in the address of that building, and your Google Maps would then route you as to either the fastest or the shortest route to take to get you to that building. Now, in DNS terms, that would be your name server. So your domain would be your building, and your name servers would be how the data was instructed to route to get to that building. Now, once you get to that building, there's obviously a lot of things inside the building. For example, you have reception, you have the bathrooms, you have the boardroom, and so forth. Now, with DNS, you have got different records. Just as an example, the A record refers to where your website is hosted. Your MX records refer to how your email is received, your incoming mail. Your SPF records, for example, are for authenticating your outbound mail, and that's another DNS record and how it would be routed. You have CNAME records, you have DMARC records, you have TXT records. There's various records. And each one has its own specific purpose. So now let's say, for example, in the building you wanted to get to reception. So you would have to follow a specific route to get to reception. There might be 2 or 3 routes to get there, but that's how you would get there. And the same applies to DNS. So now on the internet, just like with your Garmin or your GPS, sometimes you'll put it in and go to a place and the GPS will reroute you on a different route because it's faster. Now, the same applies to DNS. So the route is not always exactly the same. And in some instances, let's say, for example, there's a major server in Australia that is down. The data will be routed via New Zealand. So there will be more congestion on that route and it would be slightly slower. So your website or your email will be slightly slower depending on how the DNS was routed. So that is basically how DNS works. It is the routing or the addresses on the internet for various services relating to your domain, and the DNS are the instructions to the world or to the internet on how to route that data accordingly and as efficiently as possible. Now, when you update a DNS record, it can take up to 24 or 48 hours to what we call promulgate across the internet, and that means that on every single server across the world, the instruction on how to route that data has to be updated. It happens in milliseconds, but there are billions of servers across the world. So obviously it does take a while for it to get to everywhere. And that is why some people say to you, when we update something, it's going to take a while to take effect. And that is because of the DNS that needs to update on all the servers across the world.